Are the other breakouts done? Do we know? Let's see.
We just need to test it out.
All right. So Chris, you are now host.
Yay! I'm going to promote everybody.
Do whatever. It's a meeting type of thing, so
yeah.
You're good. You now have an end button now that you're host.
Oh, that's the best.
So if you hit end, it goes to becoming. That's what puts it up to the recording. Like the recording will automatically go and all that.
Gotcha.
Just hit button.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe.
Yep.
How many t-shirts have you worn today, Joe? I feel like that's the
3.
fourth shirt.
This is the 4th, yeah.
Okay. I've only seen 3.
This is 4.
I need a black background, so this doesn't happen right here.
Oh, speaking of backgrounds, I got to find mine.
Where did you put it, Jamie?
3, 4, 5. How can you hear Jamie? Oh, because I muted clean feed. I already muted.
Well, you want to mute clean feed. So
yeah,
clean
right.
feed should be recording. Correct. The challenge is going to be I got to route 2 other computers into this.
Yeah.
No, don't do that. Damn
it. If I move my mic.
How's that? That's better. That's better. Better.
Okay.
Are we doing AVSF background?
I guess we could. I don't know. What do you guys want to do?
Backgrounds look really, it's going to look really bad with my shirt. I need to go change.
Or we cannot do backgrounds. It's up to y'all.
Well, you could do a background and I don't think it matters if we have to be uniform or not.
Mark, I'm not sure it's quite that easy. Can we pull a direct link for this Zoom meeting here? I guess so. No, because it's an event thing.
Well, let me look. Let me look.
It's part of Zoom events though.
Yeah.
See, it's different. It's not just like here's a straight link.
Yeah.
So. Granted, registration is like, clicking 2 things. Show episodes, AVSF Live. And all sorts of stuff is dinging and pinging and.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why I'm hearing.
All right, Mark,
I guess that
got
makes
clean
sense.
feed live again.
That makes sense. It's fine. It's all fine.
Yeah. All right, then just go to this one.
Mine did that too at first, and I actually used my single sign-on from my university, and that stopped.
Yeah, that's what I did, Larry. Move you over here. Take this right there.
Okay.
Go away, go away, go away.
Why did y'all wait till 3 to register?
Who, for this? I've been registered for a day or 2. So I got
background.
Do we want to use the HETMA AVSF background or the straight AVSF background? I'm not.
If you've got the HETMA AVSF, I don't have that one. Is that in the folder?
It's in the show. It's in the episode folder. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go grab that one.
Okay, let's see what that looks like.
That would match your shirt better.
Yeah, that's better contrast. Let's see. Episodes, show segments and ideas, show episodes, live, HETMA. Fucking dogs.
All right. So this is working. We move. Oh, where did these files go? Outro.
Fuck. Oh,
There's another one in there with the AVSF.
I guess I grabbed the wrong one. Now what? Virtual conference? I only see two. Oh, here it is at the top. Okay. I see. I look like I'm in space.
Is that the one you guys would like me to use?
If you have it, sure.
Where are you getting it?
Let me download it
A
and
super
put it-
secret vault.
I can tell.
Let's see.
Can I send files in Discord? I think I can. Maybe.
Probably.
Oh, let's see if I can. AVSF live events comms. Plus
Son of a bitch. Where did you go?
upload file.
Okay, so then I need to join over here.
Okay, there it should be in Discord
Hello.
now.
Hello.
I hear Mark. I
Oh,
see Mark.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
I'm
good.
killing clean feed now.
Yeah, I'm out of clean feed. I think I was the only one that was really listening still in there. We're close. Got lots of people in here with us, huh?
Yeah, clean feed's dead.
All reference. Clean feed itself is still going. It's just
Yeah.
All right, so I need to
Nice.
join on. So, Mark, did we figure out?
Yep.
Do I want? Because I can use the FX rig to go in. I need that for sending audio.
yeah. That's your intro on FX.
Oh, let's see. I'm trying to think how to do that easiest. I guess I just join Zoom on that one, mute the output. Okay.
Yeah, I see everybody in there. Okay, let me go with this background. Is it in our normal background?
No,
Okay, cool.
it's in that episode. It's
It's in the
also in
episode.
Discord. I just sent it to Ryan.
Oh,
So if you're in
maybe it's
Discord, you can
quicker.
just grab
Yeah, I
it
can
there.
just grab it there. Whatever. Oh.
Oh, of course you grabbed the wrong camera.
Just put this right on the desktop so it can annoy me forever. Pow. All right.
I'm very monochrome today.
Yeah, we're all going to be very monochrome here today. Choose virtual background.
I don't have time to talk to that.
Hey, look at me go.
Oh, that's bad.
It's going to be that way.
And I have
Yeah,
to
I can throw my earbuds on.
do the
Tighten it
whole.
Just do that background upside down version.
I look like I don't have any ears.
Mm-hmm. Whatever.
I think
It's
I'll just do it like that. It's fine.
Just got to go tight, high and tight today. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
All right.
Hey Ryan,
When we start,
did
I'll
you get
move
full
those
access to Discord? Are you in there?
I think so. Yes.
Are you in that background channel?
Let's see. My disc golfing group was the only reason I used Discord, thus the image.
Perfect. Okay.
that's me.
Just double checking
I mean, thank you.
because it wasn't sure. It thought you were a real shady individual when you came in with that weird bear down the last name. I
Well,
was
it's not wrong,
"Mm,
right?
No, I know.
You know,
No,
trust the algorithm.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh, I gotta re-put you in the role of person of trust.
Again, that's a risk that you're just going to have to take, I guess.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's either a risk or sooner or later you're just going to be the admin for our Discord. So either way.
I have no desire to admin any more than I currently admin.
Hey, is that Chris FX a new member of AVSF?
Yes. Yes, he is.
Or is that like future Mark? No, he has hair.
He has hair. Yeah. It's not me. That's for,
Might be
that's for
Larry.
Sure.
I can see that.
Future Larry.
Just
I need the
give me-
microphone to be the output from clean feed. Oh god, this routing.
Yeah. I'm going to set up a couple sends here for my clean feed.
Oh, show notes. Starting with a poll.
We have notes. Hold
There
on.
are notes. There's
There's
a folder in
notes.
there.
Look, I'm not going to look at them, but they're in there
AVSF Live,
somewhere.
episode 1, right? Let's see.
Phantom Menace.
I got that joke.
I don't even like Star Wars, so it seems weirder than I knew it.
Zoom in. Did anybody talk to Rachel?
Yeah, Rachel confirmed she's not going to be here today.
She's not
Okay.
gonna- okay.
All right, I'm running audio into this. I ain't hearing crap.
Where are you running audio into where?
Into Zoom
From what?
from the effects rig.
I don't see your effects rig here. Oh
It
no,
says
you're
Chris
down there.
Effects.
You're muted.
Oh, I'm muted.
There you go.
Again.
So the key is when we start this, we cannot
Super Friends Live,
talk over it.
semi-regular, interactive,
Yeah,
and
we gotta be
streamed
quiet.
Wow, this sounds terrible.
streamed live.
It's going to,
and
but
we
it's going to sound
invite
fine
you
on
to
clean
participate.
feed.
We'll
Yeah.
take
Do you want to
your
check? Do you want to
questions,
confirm this is
discuss
still
the
good on
topics
clean feed?
you want
It
to
is.
discuss,
It's good.
Celebrate your
Yeah, it's coming
successes.
across.
Goggles on, please.
What would you say you do here?
Roboto.
Wow, that sounds terrible. Holy crap!
It always does. So it's
Zoom
man.
is awful. It completely blows up our premise of we want to sound better than everybody else.
Wait, what does this look like? Let's see.
Jamie, you're a smidge hot in clean feed.
In clean feed?
Yeah,
Oh,
like I mean,
no, give me a sec.
This is my first recording with the new mic and clean feed too, so you might want to just make sure I sound
yeah,
okay.
you're hot. You're definitely hot in clean
I'm
feed.
hot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How about
Mark,
me?
Mark, you're gonna have to
Check
drop
1, 2.
my level in clean feed.
My
Look at
lights aren't even on yet. Holy!
Oh my God.
They took some of those selections and things away from the end users.
Hey, Larry, get loud for a second. As loud as Larry's get.
Check. Testing 1, 2,
Wow,
3,
yeah,
4.
blown out.
I'm hot.
I got you here. Don't worry about it. I got it
Okay.
here.
Because I can. Am I okay in Zoom?
Yeah, you're okay in
fine.
Zoom. Yeah, you're fine Zoom.
So it's just clean feed. That's,
Yeah, it's just I knocked you down 2 dog biscuits here.
okay.
Am I super low to you guys still?
No.
I'm fine on my end.
All
All
right,
right, so then
double
here's the
checking.
question. I've got the effects rig in here. How do we get Zoom audio
Back to clean feed.
back to clean feed?
Do you have that third rig or no?
I've got a third laptop over here.
That was the invite that I sent you. The ultra
Oh, check it out.
confusing.
I can't even see it. Oh, it's invisible.
So the thing about that,
Visible
like
laptop.
you do not want to be listening at all to clean feed the moment that third rig connects, because it's going to be all of us and all of its craziness.
So do I want that one to join Zoom and then wait? Shit.
What?
How do I do this?
Just joins. It's going to need a login and an invite and all that menagerie.
I'm gonna need some wackadoo. Son of a bitch. I need some wackadoo routing to get it there.
What do you mean?
How do I get the Zoom audio that's playing on said device back into the microphone? I need to set up software routing on that one.
Ugh, hurts
Yeah.
my head to think about that. You want to do it live, Chris? You want to just unmute your effects rig live, or can you get that in there? Can you get the Zoom into that and just use that?
No, we're gonna hear ourselves through.
You're gonna hear everything.
Yeah.
It's gonna sound
I don't
like
think that's
trash.
gonna
I
work.
don't want that.
We need to ISO the Zoom.
I don't have another machine.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Can I do it from this other machine really
Well,
quick?
I've got another machine, but I have to think how to best set that
Yeah,
up.
you'd have to set up a virtual route.
Yeah, I just normally with. I have virtual routes already set up. I just don't have another machine.
I'm going to break stuff in a second, so hold on. It's going to be awesome. Because I need this to be open.
Nope, that didn't work. Interesting. So I'm gonna move that over here. Nope, that's in front of clean feed. I have 3 monitors. I need another one because I can't see everything.
21 by
We're
9.
getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, you need 21 by 9.
I'm
With
going to
That
multi-windowing.
solves
It's
all
windowing.
problems.
I want 22 by 10, guys. It's not happening until I get that.
For business.
I said my
Right,
day yesterday and today went to shit, or I was going to make little overlays for everybody for 21 by 9.
There it is. Lovely. Okay. My stream
Think about
B
this.
is going to be this one. Hello, hello, hello. Which is going to be in. Oh, man. I can probably pull this off. But I'm not sure I want to do this, Chris. I could set up an alternate mix on my Revelator and route.
I would not. I would not.
I don't
would not
want
fuck
to
with
go
your
that route,
hardware.
though. Yeah, I don't want to go that route.
No.
'Cause it'll puke at some point.
Yeah.
I agree. I was thinking about that last night, but I wasn't going to try to build it on the fly and then test
Yeah.
it or run it untested. Whereas if this other laptop goes to shit,
Hello, hello.
then we
Oh,
simply
no, I'm
lose.
gone now. Son of a bitch. Hey.
Audience interactions.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't the end of the world. Yeah, Mark, don't fuck with anything.
I'm not gonna.
Do it.
Because when you say, "Oh, I could try this," wait, I lost you guys. I'm like, yeah, that's
Hello,
not-
hello.
no.
Okay. I got that. So my B is going to clean feed. My A is going to Zoom. So I really don't. I don't want to double up on my clean feed and
This is the
mess that all up.
thing. What's happening here?
What?
The
Yeah,
thing around my headphones.
it's
Yeah,
that.
that's a feature.
It's that AI algorithm at work, buddy.
It's nice. it's doing everything it needs to.
I have a Halo.
Yeah, we're gonna go with it. Whoa, what's going on here? Why are there? Oh, I see. We're in
People are spotlighting.
spotlighting, and we're recording this apparently. So
It is live.
welcome,
yeah, it's
welcome
recording.
everybody in. We're recording. You're getting to see all the
Oh.
movie magic.
No, that's fine.
Oh.
We're gonna have to keep on top of keeping other. So just so everyone knows, keep everyone else muted because otherwise it's gonna turn into a shit show.
Probably.
I don't think
Well,
it's
it
gonna
already
be that. It's
is.
gonna
I
make
mean,
it a shit show, man. Yeah.
It's
Saying
gonna
we
be.
get 40 other people in here. You're gonna have to step on muting.
We know. We're just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, I'll keep the participant list up and
Yeah. Mute upon entry is on at least. So
Oh, good.
they should come in that way.
But everybody wants to crash this party, so.
hope so.
I mean, they could go to y'all, huh?
How can we? I really don't want to do that.
Well, I can open up but I won't route it to clean feed, but I can open up a second
You know what?
recording thing and soft route Zoom to it. You just have to.
Can we just get the muxed audio from the questions after the fact for the recording?
Yeah.
Pull it afterwards, but you have to go in and hack that apart.
I'm gonna have to hack it apart anyway, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter. I can't imagine. I mean, unless it's gonna be rapid fire coming at us, which maybe it will.
Because honestly, you're going to have to edit out the rest of us
Yeah,
talking
exactly.
regardless. So it's
Yeah,
the same
it's
amount
gonna,
of
it's
edits.
gonna, yeah. I'm gonna listen to this show like 4 times, guys. It's gonna be amazing. So
Just run it through ChatGPT. It'll take care of it.
it'll say you're all wrong and don't do that again. All right, I'm gonna get some water. We'll be back.
BTS for AVSF.
Behind the scenes.
Oh, okay. It's like you're using fancy talk. I don't know.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
There's some
I-
fancy talk I've heard before.
I know that fancy talk.
I know that. By God, I know that fancy talk.
Go over like a hair and a biscuit.
Now, I'll tell you what.
Tell you what.
Y'all might get me so mad, I might start talking like that.
That would be awesome.
We'll see what I can do. Got to get into my Kentucky character here.
Just make sure you have the stutter too. Yeah,
Get the
I told you.
I get the Hoosier out of me. It's really weird to think about. Yeah, I spent about half my life in Indiana and half my life in Kentucky.
Well, Southern Indiana is pretty much Kentucky.
Yeah,
I've heard
pretty
that a
much,
lot.
dude. It is.
So there is a
I've heard that a lot.
There is a distinct Southern Indiana accent.
Oh
It's
yeah,
I-70 and below
Yep.
versus I-70 and above. Completely different.
so when we go up there and used to play sports in high school, they'd be like, I didn't know we invited Kentucky teams up here to play us. Like
That's bad. Whatever that is.
Whatever just happened.
that's
Yeah,
sound
thank you.
effects, Chris. That guy up there on the left with the headphones. That's that guy.
Oh yeah. How do you set to like hide non-video participants, or is that on the user level?
Uh,
I guess as long as it doesn't affect this recording of the 6-up, we should be okay. Oh crap! I got slides. Damn it! Where's our slides?
they're in the cloud.
In the cloud. Also, this computer doesn't have the PowerPoints on it.
It's because PowerPoint is stupid.
Well, luckily my slides don't have any. Show where'd the file go?
So Microsoft and all of its genius is promoting 21:9, and yet PowerPoint still doesn't seamlessly integrate with Teams. Huh. Does anybody have the clicker issue?
I haven't seen the clicker issue. Actually, the PowerPoint integration is pretty cool.
That if you start a meeting and you
Yeah.
have your slide presentation going and you use a clicker, right? But if you click on the window to mute, it deconnects your clicker from the PowerPoint slide. So when you use your clicker, it changes your mute status in Teams or whatever status it is in Teams and not the presentation. You have to go back and liven up the presentation. It's like using your mouse. Which one is the active window?
Yeah.
And so it completely derails almost every PowerPoint presentation meeting
Everything.
if they're using some sort of clicker.
No.
And we
Clicker.
get tickets after tickets after tickets. And I cannot believe that Zoom and Teams and anything doesn't just take the presentation as a raw feed and be done with it. Why does it have to be this multi-complicated? Yes, just take the presentation and go. And it's Microsoft. So 21:9 makes all the sense in the world. And spatial audio. Just don't use PowerPoint.
What I think's really cool
Get off
is
Get off my soapbox now. Sorry. If
The
I was
PowerPoint-
IT, I would make that work.
the PowerPoint presentation within Teams is awesome, except for the fact that it comes
It's-
up as presenter view, which means everyone who's actually in the room, if you're teaching in a class, instead of seeing PowerPoint full screen like the people at home do, see this itty bitty little window of
Yes.
PowerPoint with all the notes and everything below it. So you have to eliminate that.
Yes,
In
and
order
that's what I'm
for-
talking about.
Yeah.
Once you hit presenter mode, that should be the feed to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. You have
It's
to, like,
ridiculous. And Microsoft's a genius. I'm so glad that they exist.
Oh, you son of a bitch! All right, so
Oh,
Zoom
what
can't
I
even-
do?
Zoom
What
can't
I
even
do?
share my screen until I quit and reopen Zoom. Fuck.
No way. Really?
Yeah, son of a.
You'll get it.
Oh, because your permissions aren't set right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so who else is running slides here? Because it ain't me. I am not. I've got a house of cards going right now, and I'm not.
That's
quitting
where I'm
Zoom.
at. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
two computers going.
send it over. It's fine.
It's in the show folder. So
Yeah,
who has
it's sitting
PowerPoint
there,
Okay.
PowerPoint right
installed?
there.
Otherwise, I'll
All right,
save it as a
hold up.
PDF.
Are we doing
Yeah,
a live the poll?
We're live now.
Oh yeah,
I know that. What's the poll posted on? Just in Zoom.
Give me a second. I'll get it.
yeah. Who's doing the poll? Ryan, you doing a poll? Who's doing a poll?
I don't have poll available. You're
Yeah,
the
we're-
host. Do you have it available?
Where's it show?
Should be down in the bottom.
I do not have poll anywhere. I see.
I don't.
I
No,
don't.
I got
It
nothing.
appears as though they
I could
was
do a
not assigned
whiteboard.
to us.
I could put up a whiteboard and draw the
I'm a
poll.
co-host, but I don't have polling.
I don't even see poll as an option down there.
Reactions.
We'll do it by show of hands.
chat.
Who's counting?
Is it something we have to do? Son of a.
It's probably something Joe would have had to do when he set it up. Then if it's not down there for the host.
Yeah, I don't. Can
That's
you add that
Sound
on the
weird.
effect
fly?
Joe would have done.
Let's see.
Joe knew we were going to do a poll and took it out.
No, he probably didn't know we were
but
doing
he
one.
probably
Yeah, I know.
no, he did because we traded some messages, but
Ah.
he probably created all this stuff ahead of time. And if you don't
Yeah.
create it, which is odd, why would you? Nice job, Zoom. There's no way to
Mhm.
add a poll unless you set it up to have polls available. Awesome.
Sounds right.
It's in apps.
All right, someone start Googling and figure that one out.
Oh.
Where would that be? Interesting.
Oh, you piece of junk. Oh, I hate PowerPoint.
So I said I could save it as a PDF if you want.
Oh, I opened it, but I never use it. So when I hit present, it wanted to take over everything.
That's what it always does.
Ooh. There we go.
It says to use polling feature, it must be enabled at the account level.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to go into the web admin and kick it on. So
Gross. That's not going to happen. Okay.
all right, well, do show of hands then, I guess.
Like that. Or
Yes,
virtual hands.
exactly.
Digital hands.
Virtual hands.
Digi hands. What just happened?
What do you mean?
I heard. What was that noise?
I did not hear a noise.
Okay. It must have been on my end. I don't hear it now.
What are we talking about today? What's going on? What is this? What are we talking about? This?
We're talking about
politics and religion.
Killing something.
Spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to make this work. And 0 cycles into what the content was going to be.
Should be fine.
No, I haven't. Never studied a day in my life. Today I'll prove that to you.
We're discussing Ryan's article and James King's article.
And really drilling down into the definition of what the definition of the word is really is, because that seems to be
Mhm.
something that people like us to do.
It's AV is IT or
Is it?
AV in
It
IT?
really depends on what the definition of the word is. Really is, Larry.
is.
I don't know if I'm prepared to answer that today. So is it or is it not? Let's turn my phone off.
It is what it is.
It will be what it will be. The best part's going to be the giant file of all this pre-show stuff that is bound to have some level of treasure in it for later use. What microphone you got, Larry? What'd you buy? What'd you go with? We didn't talk about that yet.
Just the dynamic version of the Audio Technica that I was using
Okay.
before. There was a sale on it on Amazon that was like $20 cheaper than it normally is.
Fire sale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it eliminates some of the keyboard noise, not all of the keyboard noise.
Yeah.
Larry types angry.
I do
He
type
got-
angry.
yeah, he's a vintage keyboard and he types with furiosity or just ferociousness.
That's at the house. At the office, it's just a normal one, but it's still loud.
One of those old
It's
Tandy
very,
keyboards.
very clicky.
Yeah, now it's
What's the over under that I make up a word this go around?
I would expect nothing less.
yeah. I was like,
Think it'll
that
happen?
Seems to
It
be.
better happen. Yeah. Vegas has odds on it. And I took the over.
I'm taking the over too.
Hey, Chris, where's he at?
Joe.
Chris is gone. He
off
left.
screen.
I see I have polls and quizzes on mine, but he's host. So you don't see polls and quizzes?
I
We don't
got
see
nothing
polls.
for polls.
All right.
Just
can you
me
message it to me and
and
I'll
one
create
poll.
it for you.
Yeah, where's our where'd we put that?
It's in the notes.
It's in the show notes. And it's in the notes. Yeah. notes.
There's notes, Chris.
All right.
Hey.
Hey, I see slides.
Yeah.
Oh,
complete.
son of a biscuit.
That's not what I need.
Zoom now goes full screen by default when someone shares.
Yeah, that's a feature.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I've been fighting with.
You good on that though? You got that, Jamie? You can run that?
Yeah, and I not running it out of PowerPoint because it wants to see my multiple monitors and take over everything. So it's just a PDF.
I can go into sessions and create a poll for you, but I don't know if you're going to be able to control, like bring
Yeah,
it up.
somebody have to fire it up. Yeah.
If you don't have, and I can, because I got to go start all the other sessions
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
which start what time? Oh, 1 o'clock. Not till 1, right?
Yeah, we got 30
That's what my
minutes.
calendar says. I hope that's right.
All right. So there's time. So maybe we
Though
can
Raul
figure
came
this
in
out.
here angry and thought we were supposed to be going already. He's beating down my door, screaming at me.
So I can do it. What's the question?
I just sent you a message in the HETMA thing, or I can send it via text if that's better.
Got it. No, I got you here.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't even get the button for polls.
We don't
Yeah.
need to share the whole time, do we?
No.
Negative.
Basically,
Wait,
get through
what
the
are
ground,
options?
get
I
through the
only-
ground rules, and wait till the end.
Yep. I think so.
That's
It
what I
doesn't look
thought.
like a poll to me. Sorry. What I got was, you want to check what you sent me? It looks cut off. Does not look like. a
So I
poll.
should be two options.
Yeah, but what's the question?
Oh,
No, the question is AV is question mark, right?
And
then the two
yeah.
answers are-
You're, okay, I see what you're saying, Joe. Yeah, we did not word this properly as a
Yeah.
poll. We're doing this on the fly here.
The future of AV is.
dead.
Just make the question like just AV and IT or something, and then just throw those in as options. If that makes sense.
That's what you wanted? AV and IT. Okay.
Yeah.
And then they can only select one choice.
Yep.
Sure, both of them are wrong.
All right. Interesting. All right, back to trying to hack this.
Make Chris go out and buy avhospicecare.com. Get that.
He already owns it.
Yeah, he's got it. Yeah. That's all industry, Justin. You get those end of life baby boomer HD care facilities. He's just like fucking in the zone.
Oh, I'm creating all kinds of show content. That's
No,
just
I
yeah.
imagine.
Oh crap!
Imagine you. What? Is there homework?
I've got notes.
Where are you putting these notes? Because they're not in
It's
the
my
document.
notes,
private, super secure notepad. Whenever I do these live events, I don't like putting my notes up there for y'all
You don't like
prying
give it away.
eyes to see
I don't like to put any notes in
my-
there because I like just spring it all on you guys.
my pure intelligence. I heard a laugh after
Is
that.
is that what we're going with now?
I was trying to be serious, but
What?
I know.
I think I'm gonna go see if I can get some more coffee.
Oh, on the poll creation, it says make quiz and set the correct answer. So I can just set which one I want.
Joe's taking over.
Sabotage the whole thing.
Yeah, hijacking our
There's
show.
gonna be a third option, and it's gonna say whatever Joe wants. They're like, wait, we didn't put that in there. Where'd that come from?
Do you see it yet? Now I just created it, so I don't know if.
I don't see
Well, that's
Yeah,
weird.
some-
Now
something's
if I go in,
funky.
it says no polls or quiz created,
Yeah, I think we've got something weird on the admin side. We'll roll with it. We'll do
Yeah,
show
do it
hands
live.
or something.
but it
We're
is
live.
there. Polls and quizzes.
It'll just be us. So it should be fun.
We probably all need a client update.
Yeah, chances
Probably
are.
that too.
Weird, but I'm also wondering if I can't take it because, well, no, I should be able to launch it though.
You should.
It is under the session info. It is there. Oh, save.
Oh, I
Oh,
can pause
maybe
the
if I
recording.
hit save
Wow.
changes. Now let's see what happens.
You gonna pause the recording right now?
Oh, okay, it's there. So I have it now. So
Hey, now I got a poll.
Now I see it.
Oh, polls.
Yeah. We didn't have the
Oh, I see it.
correct credential to do that.
there you go.
And the interesting thing
Joe
is we
fixed
can't-
it.
So Joe, just as an aside, we still can't create them. We can launch ones that you create, but even hosts here can't create a. So there's some weird permissions thing.
The feature.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It doesn't matter. We're
We'll
good
figure
now.
it out. We'll roll with it.
IT feature.
And that's the only one you need?
That's it.
Okay, bye.
We
Bye,
got
Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Further proof that AV is IT.
Does anybody know any IT people?
That's us. We are those people.
Hey, you work in IT, right? Can you? Not really.
All my life. All my
Yes.
life.
Yes, technically I do. No,
I had
I
a new one
can't
today. We
fix
had a
that.
professor. We had a professor with a problem with his
For the
computer.
show.
He knows we respond faster than the help desk, so he goes or to the desktop guys. So he goes into the classroom across the hall, hits the button for "I need help," and then stands there, waits for one of my guys to show up, walks him across the hall, and is like, "Dude, no."
My printer is jammed.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
what?
It's the worst thing. I can't get on the Wi-Fi. What's going on over here?
I think this call illustrates what we're talking about, though, because we've spent all this time getting like the poll and PowerPoint to work, and the audio still sucks, and we've just accepted that the audio is going to suck.
We have not accepted that.
No,
We
no.
have. We're
In
going
fact,
to roll
we-
with the
No.
sucky audio.
We're very much against it.
I'm not accepting it.
But
I
we're
have to
moving
live
forward
with it.
Yeah, I have no choice in this matter. Interesting.
What the hell was that?
What do you got going on over there, man?
What?
I didn't hear anything.
Turn off your auto tracking.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
freaking me out. dude.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Let's
My bad.
It's like some weird 70s sci-fi show.
it's super slow. Weird.
Like, the camera's moving, but it's not actually moving anywhere.
Oh shit. If this goes bad.
It's kind of fun to watch.
Okay, so I need a. Where's the chat window?
So-
Worked. Am I still here? You guys still hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're lucky.
I
What'd
thought,
you do?
Settings.
Mark, I thought
Turned
you
off
got
my
rid of all.
Wi-Fi.
Oh, nice.
Oh no. My camera's locked up. I was doing too much. Oh. Here we go. All
We
right.
got 20 minutes.
Mhm.
Should
Yeah,
we at least talk about the show, or
Well, I thought the show's over. I thought we just did it.
We're done. Yeah. We just proved it. Or disproved it.
But Justin disagreed with me.
Did I though?
And Jamie
think-
did too. Yeah.
I think I'm going to prove a point to one of my local PMs. I'm going to forward all of you a meeting
Ooh, yeah.
for March 6th. It's to meet about CARES rooms,
Oh,
but it's just a meeting. It just says meeting about CARES rooms.
okay.
And I'm going to forward it on to all of you, and I want you to all to accept and respond and go, great, what's this about?
No way.
That way
you-
it comes from all of these people from everywhere, and they're like, awesome.
I've
We
been
still want
consulting with
CARES
other
money.
people like at Kentucky, so I might as well start consulting with your people there.
Ooh, in Kentucky, it's called ESSER funds.
Yes, sir.
Well, we're doing that's more K through 12 stuff. We're already done with CARES. Like WKU spent the
it-
CARES money already before we even got
Burn
it.
that
It's
guy
like,
now.
There were
bah,
some
burn it.
nice dot cams, though, man.
Oh yeah.
It irritates the living
beautiful.
crap out of me to get meeting invites with zero agenda or like just a brief description.
I
Just give
thought
me a description.
CARES money had to be spent
No,
by.
it's spent. The deal is,
Yeah.
is when we got it, we spent it. The administration's quarter, you remember quarter capacity? And so they wanted to high flex
I
quarter
don't
capacity.
I don't
And
remember
so
her.
all of the CARES money went to rooms that were more than 150 to 200 seats to be high flex because you can only put 25 people in there,
Oh,
right?
Oh, that whole thing?
Oh, so you designed
Yeah.
it around COVID.
And so we
Aha.
came back to them and said, we really need to reevaluate this equipment. We already own the equipment. The money's spent. It's more,
Yeah.
can we pick different rooms, please?
some rooms that actually work for the equipment and not, yeah.
And the irony is we've already done all that. And now there's this random meeting that pops up. And I'm just like, just put a one line in here like, hey, we just want to ensure, or what is the next step? Or it's just meeting.
Give
You
it
know,
all
if we
back.
keep talking like this, people are going to join and like, oh shit, I'm late. I'm like, damn.
Speaking of meetings, how'd the job interview go?
Oh, nice. Put me
Yeah,
on
bring
record
that-
in
There's
public.
nobody else in here.
Recorded on a
Yeah,
public
let me-
forum.
Here, I'll hit pause. Let me hit pause here.
Okay. It's all safe now.
Okay. Hey, Chris is here.
There's like 4 Chris's here. There's all types of Chris's.
It's like future Chris and present Chris.
All right.
Where's past
Natalie
Chris?
heard a
It's
whole
fine,
bunch of
Chris.
things she didn't really want to hear.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, I
It'll
mean,
be
that's
fine for
like
the-
the whole
for the-
show, though, right? I
Oh,
mean,
man,
that's the
she's laughing.
entirety- The entirety
Natalie
of
now
the show.
knows how to look for a new job. Just
Bourbon
have about 4
and
fingers worth of bourbon and
a really bad
Rage
day.
mash.
Yeah, man. Doesn't take
I've done
much.
it. I've actually done it, and I've ended up interviewing at a place in Denver and a place in Greensboro where I'm at the same time because of rage applying.
So you drunk rage applied, and now you're sitting where you are.
I rage applied for my boss's boss
This is a whole nother show. This is a
job
good episode.
before I got this one, but I did well enough in that interview that when this one came up, it kind of worked out. Like
Rage
I was
applying-
applying for jobs I had no business applying to. I was just angry because I was.
Are we
working the
starting?
weekend.
Are we starting a thing like what do you call
Most
those?
successful rage applied job. How high?
Like just rage applying?
Yeah. Just
Like instead of quiet quitting, now we have
just
rage
rage
applying.
yeah.
Yeah. And,
Like, I'm s-
and my wife was like staring at me like, where are we moving to? Why are you doing that?
Leave me alone. I'm drunk.
Oh, man.
I'm
Yeah,
venting.
I don't recommend it. I did get an interview out of it, but I don't recommend it.
Oh,
Yeah.
look, I just Google searched rage applying, and it's the first link, CNBC. Is
Okay,
rage
Jamie.
applying the new quiet quitting? Here's what experts say.
Really? Seriously?
January 25th, 2023, rage applying is an act of revenge for employees who feel unappreciated, and rage applying is the act of yeah. It's we need to do a show about this.
We will.
Chronic
After everyone
reasons
has
for
new
rage.
jobs where they don't have to worry about it.
That'll be
The
the,
mo-
first. That'll be the
more-
first one that my admins all tune into.
While the term has been criticized for being yet another social media trend, popularizing long existing behaviors.
Not a trend. Not a social media trend. Legit. I'm telling
What's Tang Ping?
you. Or I started it. There we go. I started the trend.
Rage applying has resonated so much because there's a lot of unrest in the workforce right now. So you're unrestful, is what it is, Jamie, according
that
to
an-
this article.
Is that an API?
Unrestful versus restful. So
Unrestful API. It's called the apply now button. Can I get the
Off-
JSON code for that?
off the rails. Here we
Map
are.
it to your
already.
stream deck. So it's
Oh, here's the section that you need to consider, Jamie. When rage applying backfires.
Can backfire?
The high that comes from potential pay bump at another toxic job is going to wear off pretty quickly, Jamie.
Oh,
The
goodness.
downside of spraying your resume out there and seeing what sticks is having to deal with the possibility of rejection. Jamie's
can-
fine with rejection.
But if I get more money, I can afford better whiskey.
Think of the
Rage
jobs I
applied,
can
yeah.
apply for then.
Yeah.
Oh, with 5 minutes left, these people are gonna.
Who? So can
The
we
next
ask
thing
one of the-
Tim writes is gonna be.
Yeah.
So I listened to the pre-show, and this is an issue.
We're
Tim,
Jamie,
can you
Jamie,
actually
shut up a
unmute-
second. We're trying something.
Can you unmute yourself or Natalie and actually yell at us at some level? We're going to test and see if we have your levels.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm here, and I needed to show off. I'm wearing my my Chris Decker Wyoming
Oh yeah.
There you
jersey
go.
from
Oh,
Gotcha.
Infocom.
He's
First
QB1 right
opportunity-
there.
What was that?
QB1. Quarterback
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Nice. It's all
First
there, Chris.
opportunity I've had to wear a brown football jersey when I'm a Steelers fan here in New Jersey. You know, so brown is not really the color I wear.
Nope.
Because
Don't worry,
exit
they don't
New
wear it
Jersey.
either.
Appreciate it, Tim.
no, it's a nice jersey though. Like I was like, oh, this is nice. I was like, I just don't have any real opportunity to wear it. Like so.
Well, I got a
figured I'd
hat for
show
you,
my
Tim.
support.
Here you go.
Oh,
Oh, hey, look at that.
Steelers.
As I say, all I saw was black and yellow. I was like, I'll take it.
I got it one of those the Pittsburgh sports places in the airport. So
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's a cool one. I like that.
and it's got the combo. Well, it won't show up, but anyway, it's a nice logo.
It's got America on it.
Merc.
Right, it does.
America.
Who got it all? Who's all here
All
today?
right, so Mark, we'll let this house of cards run. Then I think it's
It's gonna be what it's gonna be at this point.
Let it
clunky.
topple.
We already had the part of the show.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, I feel like that
Happy
was,
hour was nice.
Rage applying.
So we were in here. We missed Joe's big announcement. What
what-
was
there was
that
a big
announcement?
it's at 3:52 my
Oh
time.
yeah, you haven't missed it yet.
Oh, so
yeah,
it's,
it's later.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
stuck in
we
Eastern
still
time.
have-
Okay.
Oh, see, I've got
An
all you can say.
hour and wait, hold on. An hour and 52 minutes before that happens. So
Okay.
We have a big announcement.
There's a big announcement that
Apparently.
they've been teasing all week, basically.
Ooh.
So I'm,
Oh.
you know, interested
You
about
want
it
to
now.
you want to spoil it for him and do it here?
no,
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
I'm this.
That would
I
be
don't wanna
awesome.
lose my voice. See, come on.
Joe
now.
is he's legally changing his name to HETMA and moving to Hawaii.
There you go. Oh, HETMA.
We can do that.
We would never be invited back.
To what?
Not sure all
To
the
this?
Yeah.
Yeah. After this show, we may not be.
That's running. That's running. This is running. That's
It'd be all
Yeah,
right.
every, all 12 machines running.
this house of cards. is going.
What's the
Why is-
BTUs in your office now?
Seriously.
Why do my
That's the
background stars seem more dense than everybody else's? Is that just me?
It's Kentucky.
It's,
paid
it's
up
that
for
it's
those.
that
Paid more.
chewable gummy you had a minute ago.
Smuggled in.
Hey, recreational just opened up in Missouri. Hey,
I thought we were all supposed to take the red pill
I,
before
prob-
this.
I probably shouldn't go to that store either before
No.
perusing my.
We were all supposed to take the same thing before this show, guys.
All right.
Damn, we took all of it.
Jamie didn't ship them. He just took them all.
Well,
It's
Jamie's-
BC,
Jamie's
sorry,
on
I saw
fire.
you sent me a message on Slack, but I honestly have not looked at Slack. So
You're not missing anything. I answered my own question, so we're good.
okay.
to be yet another
That's-
computer Chris would need
that's-
to be running right now.
that's basically higher ed AV in a nutshell.
Yeah.
This thing sucks. Never mind. Figured it out.
I love that. We had a ticket today where someone was having a presentation in a classroom. They were like, projector's not working, nothing's working. And my guy walked in, projector was on. They were trying to show their MacBook Pro through the document camera. When I say that, I mean, they had the document camera pulled over and was showing the computer.
Yes.
Hey, well, point
I've
of
seen that.
creativity.
Excellent.
That's a Tuesday and Wednesday here at WKU.
I know. man.
That's
I was
every
just like-
Tuesday and Wednesday.
I was like, I can't do. You're making my aneurysm move right now. So let's just not.
When you get like the
Yeah.
second laptop and you have that one
Three, and
facing the other one,
fourth
and it's like
one.
two Furbies, right? And they're just like, oh, this is how we're doing it.
Furbies.
Just
Here's the best story though when it comes to a doc cam. So we did like a bunch about 5 years ago. We did a bunch of active learning rooms, and you know we put all the bells and whistles in them and all that table based learning, all that. And they came out and did a photo shoot for the Rutgers magazine to put it out to all alumni and students and all that stuff. The main cover photo for the spread
Oh no.
was a faculty member using the document camera with their iPad right on top of the
On top of
document, like just
Yeah.
using the document camera to display there. And I was like, we put HDMI cables in there. We had adapters. Why didn't somebody say something? I was like, this is what
Nope.
happens when we leave them alone.
And that was probably the most used that active learning technology got in that room. am I
It
right?
was good enough.
The photo session. That's about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good enough.
oh,
All
man.
right.
And
Right,
it was funny. I saw
well-
the photo like dozens of times. It didn't occur to me until like 2 years ago that it even happened.
So, all right, we
All
are
right.
Remember,
we
light
are
this
at-
candle.
we are
Ready,
at
Chris?
time to start.
Pull the ripcord.
Can anybody is chat working for everybody? Yes, no, kind of.
We're here.
All right. Awesome.
Raise
Well,
your
guys,
hand if you're not here.
this was a session I was very much looking forward to moderating because I had there's gonna be the least amount of work that I was gonna have to do moderating anything, because I can just turn it over to these folks and they're gonna knock it out. So in case you haven't noticed, this is the AV Super Friends, and they are live here with the HETMA session tonight, and they are talking about something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is the death of AV. So Super Friends, I turn it over to you all. Take it away.
All right. Hold on to your butts. This is AV Super Friends Live, a semi-regular, interactive, and spirited roundtable discussion streamed live where we invite you to participate. We'll take your questions, discuss the topics you want to discuss, celebrate your successes, and commiserate with you about your challenges. If you want to share your thoughts, tell us we're full of it, or just throw a conversation grenade into the mix, this is your show. And now, the AV Super Friends. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. Time for another Friday afternoon podcast adventure with the AV Super Friends, and we even wedged in another one here. We're joined by an extra. There he is. I'm looking at my screen here. Sorry.
He's right there.
My name is Chris Dector. He's not on this screen. My name is Chris Dector. I'm joined today by Mark, Jamie, Larry, Justin, and Ryan Gray is sitting in with us. So, Ryan, thanks for joining this madness.
Thank you.
And it is Friday. How did
it
we
is
pull
Friday?
that
In
off?
fact, it's a Friday afternoon, so it worked this time. So I'm going to start off by saying we shanghaied Ryan into joining us here because he was silly enough to write us an email complaining about one of our takes on AV and IT. And I said, look, if you're gonna comment that way, you're joining the show. So here you are.
Put voice to it, brother. Voice.
Let's go.
You got your yelling voice on?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. So we got a couple of ground rules here. Who's running slides? Jamie, you running slides?
I got it. Hold on.
All right. So a couple of ground rules. This is a contentious topic. Everyone is about to get offended. We encourage you to use your words. We have multiple co-hosts in here who will step on your mic, so please keep your mics muted. We will unmute them as we go, but if you have questions, when we get to a point, we do want to take live questions, live interactions, so please raise your hand using the Zoom raise hand thingy. We'll bring you in and address you directly. If you do that, please don't be using like your laptop microphone or your iPhone on speakerphone or something, because we are recording this both through the HETMA. We're recording on our backside so we can release this on a as an episode. So we want as high quality audio as possible. So, Jamie, roll that last slide. We'll just use that one anyway right now as a plug.
Whoa.
So do a quick plug for us, avsuperfriends.com. We do two other shows regularly: On Topic, which is a 30-minute monthly roundtable, and Off the Rails, which is semi-regular, a couple of times a month, and it goes all over the place. So we have multiple topics. We cover the news. It's all sorts of fun stuff there. So, all right, I think we're done with slides. We're done. Thanks, everybody.
See you go. You want to do the traditional meeting thing where we're going to take the next 35 minutes and everybody introduce themselves and what they do?
Go around the room and introduce yourself. Favorite ice cream flavor, shoe size, and the last place you went on vacation.
And your mother's maiden name.
Yes.
And we would like for them all to have their eulogy written for the death of AV.
Yeah.
No.
But let's take the temperature of the audience here. Where's my polls button?
It was down there at the bottom.
I got it. Hold on.
Hit the launch.
All right. There you are. Look at that. It's technology. So we want to hear from you. This is clearly a binary question. At least that's the way we're starting it. But please let us know where we are on this. Before we jump into this, is AV, are we happy colleagues with IT, or are we doing our own thing?
So as a host, I can't participate.
I was wondering, you're not
Seriously.
allowed. What? Do not even touch that.
I've got 3 other laptops here. I can vote multiple times. This is great. I'll stay out of it.
Hey, numbers are climbing.
Is
Is this the part? Is this the part in all my kids' YouTube shows? It's like, mash the subscribe button.
No, it's not this part, Jamie.
Oh,
That's not how this works, Jamie.
Close though. We're close.
shoot.
All right, we'll let this go for a few more seconds here.
It's getting stagnant. Oh,
Okay. Just to give you a prep, Mark, I'm going to go to you here in about 4 seconds. And so, Mark, why don't you lay out, because you were talking about an interesting approach to your thoughts on how AV and IT are interacting, and then we'll address this poll.
Oh, put me on the spot.
Put you on the spot.
Put me on the spot. How they're interacting. I believe we are super IT here in our AV domain, and more, everything we're doing, we are sharing the same goal, right? We're trying to reduce friction in communication, trying to create collaboration, all those same types of goals that IT are creating. We are there. Much of our organizations are aligned that same way. And so I think my take, and to kind of spill my perspective, is that the identifier of AV proper is just kind of rolling in, and all that language will kind of dissipate, and we will all just identify ourselves as in IT. And I think that's me tiptoeing into this, and maybe we can throw some more hostility into it and say anybody who works for AV, you work for IT. And that's the way it is. But it seems like the poll kind of agrees with me. So,
All right, let me share the results here. And there we go. So oddly enough, we've got a pretty decent plurality going here.
So we could just all defend the other side. And like
I'm
Justin,
now switching my answer to defend
switch the answer.
opposite.
But we made this prognostication on one of our early January show. We kind of said that death of AV, and I think I may have even brought it up. Right, I said this is the year we're going to start to see that language and start seeing more. We're converged. Surprise! If you're not, you are. And then everything you do, at least from our perspective, is very much IT centric. Right, the language, our tools, everything is there. Right, and so. Why do we go out of our way to separate and say, no, I'm an AV only? And so I think you're trying to communicate and share mass communication with everybody in the same way that everybody at IT maybe. I'm going to stop. Who wants to jump in now? Who wants to kind of chime in?
Well, wait, we do have a response to this poll. So, by the way, thank you. I think this is the first time in history I've ever seen 100% participate in the poll. This is awesome. So 74% that AV is a wholly owned subsidiary and fully converged with IT, and 26% saying no, AV is its own thing and will always be so. And here's the answer to both of those. You are both wrong.
Wait. Whoa.
Pull the rug out from underneath them, Chris.
Yeah.
They're a little both right.
But they're all a little bit wrong.
Yeah.
Ryan,
No, they're both wrong. They're both wrong.
All right, lay it in, brother. Come on.
Go for it, Ryan.
Step up to the plate.
Yeah,
Let's go.
because someone put wholly owned subsidiary in there, and I'm not willing to give up that part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's not your choice. Like they're going to come in and take
Hey.
it over regardless.
well, let's talk about that, because who's taking over who around here? You know what I'm
All
saying?
right, so how do you see it?
Ryan's
How
got
do
a
you see
plan.
it? Yeah.
Well,
You wrote the article. We read the article, right? That you
All
wrote.
right.
And
Yeah.
that James put out there, and we'll nail him to the wall here in a little while.
Let's
But-
do it.
But for you wrote this article, and both of you referred to our nonsense in your article, and then you even had the wherewithal to send us a note of hate mail as well. It wasn't
was
that
the
hate.
nicest
It
hate
was
mail I've ever written
It was
in my
very
life.
polite
All I'm
hate
saying
mail.
is that
It was
No,
very
I'm saying-
thoughtful and nice with please and thank yous. And
Yeah.
Justin replied with 2 words.
I believe I used the word "sir," pardon me, sir, in it. So, anyways, no, I mean, like, here's the thing: AV will become a wholly owned subsidiary as long as we continue to think that we don't deserve to be more than that. And the people in positions make decisions. The people in the room make decisions. And the hard part is, let's put it this way: we know that the most packets going across the internet are video, right? Netflix and God knows what else. And if you're an AV over IP campus, the same thing is going to be true there. So why are we letting networking people tell us how to work? Shouldn't networking work for us if really they're just the transport for what we're doing?
Well,
So-
Let him
Hold
finish.
on.
Let him finish. No, let him finish. You get to speak 3 times a month every month. Let him
Yes.
finish.
So the whole thing, what I would say is the challenge with that is you get to be in charge what you're willing to take accountability for. And I think the challenge that's facing AV people, especially on higher ed campuses, is if we're not willing to take over accountability and responsibility for wider than what we choose or the part that we want to, then that is what happens. Is slowly but surely the people who are willing to, they're the ones who get to make decisions. They're the ones that get to choose money. They're the ones that get to make hires. They're the ones who set the agenda. And in my experience, so my current title, Assistant Director of Information Technology, and the best people on my staff at talking about user experience and turning in great stuff for our college come from AV. So it's time to own that, look at it, and go get at the table and start making decisions.
I was
Thank you
going to
for
guess
coming to my
network.
TED Talk.
I was going to guess network security, folks. No?
Here's
All right, Justin. All right, Justin.
Here's
go
the
with it.
problem. What is IT? It's not networking. It's not just web page building. It's not just systems. It's not just security. It's not just AV. It's everything. And I think a lot of the problem is that we've had this same discussion as soon as HD base T came out on the market. Oh, AV's dying. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? AV's changing. It changes quite often every 5 or 10 years, right? So we're just an equal to networking, as we're an equal to security, as we're equal to physical security and all the other services that IT provides. We're under an umbrella of information technology, period. That's it. So I feel like there is a battle a lot of us are having with networking and AV people. And that's just one battle within the IT umbrella that networking is probably having with other entities within that IT umbrella. So I think a lot of what we talk about is really just comes down to semantics and what the words mean when we talk about it.
I'm always up for semantics.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really, Larry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, Ryan, like I read the article and I do kind of agree with you. There's
Never
one
mind.
point I really,
But I also hate it.
there's one point that I really like how you address is that we have to control the narrative. We have to really highlight the user experience, just the experiential factor, because if we're focused on costs and everything else that we typically get tied down in, it's going to be real easy for the department to quantify that and outsource and find other means of doing that.
But I think that's part of that is and the easiness and the costs and the is part of what is scary about the death of AV as a standalone issue. The more we commoditize, the more we promote, the more that we just go by this soapbox, right? I'm get it out. I'm gonna stand on it. I'm short, dude, so I need 3 soapboxes. I'm gonna climb up on top of this pallet of soapboxes. The amount of times I see these all-in-wonder box TVs, smart displays, rolled into a room
It has
that
Wi-Fi.
seats 65 people, and it's a 50-inch display, is ridiculous. But it's cheap, it's easy, and it's something that, in traditional terms, IT is used to. It's just a computer on a display where we're used to that. You don't have to plug anything into it. You don't have to think about any of the stuff that we normally think about. And it just works. Or the one box wonder from certain peripheral manufacturers that you can just order from whatever, Amazon, eBay, you pick one, right? You can go to Best Buy and buy this one box wonder kit. That's what is scary for the life of AV professionals in education because of the commodity. You can now buy easy. Look, I like the new Netgear AV switches, right? They're really easy. They're really simple, and especially to get all of our
Really
very
do what you want 'em to do.
complicated stuff. Yeah, and it's commodity. If this display, this all-in-one cart that you pull in there, and I've bought a few of them 5 years ago. 3 years ago, they ended up being trashed because something in them stopped working. The Windows didn't update anymore, or the little compute module. Notice I
Well,
had module
see,
to
Jamie,
compute module.
Just a computer.
When you're
Jamie,
when you're
computer.
comparing that Netgear switch, oh look, my video is frozen. When you're comparing that Netgear switch to that TV size, that's apples and oranges, though, because that Netgear switch isn't providing necessarily better experience for the user.
No,
That's making our jobs easier to support and install. Versus,
I just think that when we get to this point of when we start installing all these commodity processes. And I think it was James's article that said, hey, look, I can now bring this box in from a manufacturer that we all like and press the easy button on it. And it goes, please be quiet while we tune the sound system. And then has an ear piercing destruction of.
Not as bad as it once was.
I still have the
Pleasant
old
now.
version.
Remember the
But
first
I'm
time
like,
they fired that
"Whoa!"
off and that thing was, yeah.
You've
holy
gone
crap.
from
Yeah, the
fair
first
to
time you light that
extraordinary.
thing up and that tone hits your eardrums and it starts to bleed a little.
I think that makes
it
our
works
job
great.
easier. It does, but there's still, I feel that AV is a little bit separated within the other subsets of IT because we have to deal with the analog space the most. Because Jamie, to your point, yes, you can hit the easy button, But if you have one speaker and one microphone in the corner in a 60 by 60 room, that easy button isn't going to make a good experience. It's just going to set the system up.
I never said it was a good thing. I said if
Oh.
we're not careful, this is the crap that will kill us.
It's
And
not going
this
to
is
kill
the
us
stuff.
though.
Justin,
not.
Justin, to go against that though, like the past
Get in
couple
line.
years have taught us that we are living in the age of good enough.
Well,
Like, it's
I
not
just,
about a good experience anymore as long as it's passable.
I guess
Let's
I'm
talk
just going to
about
turn
Tim
in
and
my.
BC's document camera stories
Yeah.
earlier, right?
So I want to just be really, really blunt here. And we talked about this in show planning. By show of hands in the room, how many of the people that are here today typically find themselves doing the labor side of the IT deployments within your universities, where you are typically looked at the arm and the group that's willing to go out and have a physical presence? Because I see that a lot happening. And as almost like capitulation from the core IT group that says, well, you guys do that. You're out in that with the clients and you're in that analog. They're more than willing to give us all that labor side. And so I'm more afraid of AV turning into the labor force, holy labor force of IT, if we're not careful. And I think that's where it's about us coming to that table like we've been talking about, making sure that we're in this larger conversation and not just seen as boots on the ground for the physical labor.
I think that's a separation of experience. From what I see, networking people still have UPSs to change out. Our physical security groups still have to change out cameras and door locks. So they have a hierarchy within their subset where the lowest person on the totem pole has to go do that stuff. We as AV do as well. And I think you're right, Mark, there could be separation of, more knowledge labor versus manual labor. And that could be where you still have the AV specialist and network specialist, and maybe you have a army of people that are doing stuff, but they're doing everything guided by those higher up people that actually have the knowledge labor. So I think it's
Knowledge labor.
I don't think AV is going to turn into, the shovel diggers, if you will, of campus that do everything,
They might already
because
be.
that's not happening on our campus. Because the networking people want some experience for that lower end network tech to walk into that closet to know what they're doing when they do switch out that UPS. They don't necessarily trust the AV people to do that. And we don't trust the low end networking people to change out a projector. Now there could be some cross training there and we could, increase efficiency by sharing those resources, but the knowledge labor and I still think there's a lot of separation with that. That's still specialized.
I think there's separation in best practices. Yes, I think
Yeah.
what we do as a skill set and a group of core knowledge out in a space to treat that analog environment is much different than somebody who's just doing applications and server things. Now, that's very extreme examples of that, but what we do is every bit as important as what they do for delivering the totality of the teaching and learning experience. And I think that's what I'm saying. We are underneath that IT, because I can tell you right now, my budget for all the endpoints that I have is coming out of the IT budget. It's not coming out of an AV budget. It's coming out of the campus IT budget.
Well, but is that simply a reflection of we don't know where else to put these weirdo IT guys or AV guys, because some of us came from physical plant and facilities, some of us came from the library, some of us came from the academic side under the provost, and at a certain point they're not sure where to go. But they've got technology and like stuff, but I don't know, put them over there in IT. It's IT.
I think we're a victim of being very successful with spreadsheets and tracking of things and project management.
No,
And
I would dial it back and say we're a victim of having stuff with a network port. Thus, we must.
That's how we got here, right? But I think when we look at, they know it's important, and IT loves the stuff, right? We love the things and all the components, and we see spreadsheets and all these projects, and like, man, you guys you're spending a lot of money out there. What's going on? What is it you're doing, right? And maybe we haven't been really clear about how we're creating that experience and actually providing that language into it. But right now it's just like, that's a lot of money. And it seems like you're doing information. If I got rid of it, I know we wouldn't be successful. So it makes sense for you to be over here.
Well, I do think that we do belong in the IT umbrella. We do. Absolutely. Especially now more than ever. But I also fully agree with Ryan. We need to own a bigger section of the conversation, because we are the few, as we've discussed, we are the few that deploy boots on the ground to fix things. And what do we fix? We fix I can't log in. We fixed the USB needs to be unplugged and replugged. We fixed that the camera doesn't work. We actually fixed that the wireless network doesn't work. You know, there are times where we do all of these things. Some
Don't do
people
that.
more than others, depending on what university you're in, right? We do all of that.
And I think, Jamie,
we're comfortable with it. But we're not always seen as part of the conversation. Like, well, we have the desktop support people, and we have the networking people, and we have the security people, and we have the database people. Well, wait.
We're
Who
all that.
represents me? I do all of it.
Yeah.
My
So
job
to this-
involves every single person at this table, and you don't want to listen to me. And that's the problem.
But that's why being part of IT is it's not the problem, it's the opportunity,
It's the opportunity.
right?
Yes.
That we want that sort of thing. You know, the question is, we have how many people have, you know, you've got desktop support and AV support and why don't we just have user support?
Mhm.
And it's about, you know, we're not focused on what piece of technology the group is working on. We're all talking about the user experience and who's best to put that stuff forward.
We tried that, Ryan. Just basic support at WKU. We did that.
Yeah, how'd it go?
Yeah, it went shitty.
Just
Can you come move these
So-
chairs for me? Oh, the students moved all the desks. I need somebody to come put these back.
yeah, we
well,
have-
Chris
we-
was actually dean of table removal, weren't you?
I was assistant dean of table removal.
Yeah, a lot of our phone support was for our remote classrooms and Zoom rooms. That's a different topic, but nonetheless, we tried to combine help desk. It went terribly bad. Got tons of complaints from users, and so now we separated help desk for AV specialized help desk and IT general. But it, you know, it depends on the culture at your university, of course.
I mean,
Yeah,
now
I've
my
seen it
question is,
work
why
well.
did it go
Right.
bad?
Why did it go bad? There's no understanding when somebody's answering phones at our help desk, you know, they're closing tickets for a wrong number. They're closing tickets every time they answer their phone to show how much they're working. Their job is to close tickets. Their job isn't necessarily focused on
Open
closing
tickets.
out resolutions to problems. They just have to close tickets. So when there's a problem in a room and it requires a new projector, well, that ticket's going to sit there for however many days. Now they don't want to touch that. That's bad metrics for them. So we're going to send that over to AV.
Article of how do
Right.
I get a new projector?
Knowledge-based articles, right? Yeah. Like how do you knowledge-based article? What to do when the projector dies? That doesn't exist, right?
So
Step one called help.
let's take
Oh, no.
take just one little brief pause, and say there are, I know, of the 44 people on this call, 43. I started talking to people drop. Somebody agrees or disagrees vehemently with what we're saying. Raise your hand if you want to contribute, because we're all in. Like, that's why Ryan's here.
Or they're looking at us like we're all
I just want to
crazy.
remind you that you can join in. This is an open discussion, and
Raise your hand or we will step on mics.
yes. So feel free, raise your hand and join in. Now, back to the program as
Our moderator just raised his hand. Does our moderator have something
Bring
to
it.
say?
bring it, BC. Bring it. You got to unmute, man.
I do. I still don't understand the rush that so many people have to say AV is IT. I've yet to understand that, because I feel like it honestly kind of in a way disrespects the AV profession, because we were trying to say, no, we're IT professionals. I got nothing against my IT brethren, none whatsoever. They're great people, but we work hand in hand together with different objectives and different outcomes, right? Like our objective is to provide that first impression learning experience on campus, right? Like what we do actually delivers the learning. I can't do what I do without the IT folks that manage the computing endpoints, manage the network infrastructure, do all those things. So in a way, I'm almost a customer of our IT team. At the same time, they're a customer of mine whenever they bring projects to me that require it. So I'm still just kind of baffled on why we're rushing to go under an umbrella when we have a perfectly good one ourselves.
Oh, Jamie, stop. Before you go any farther,
No.
I am 100% on board with what BC just said, because AV is as much instructional design as it is IT. We need to be as concerned about the learning experience and learning outcomes as the IT side of it. Okay, now carry on, Jamie.
That's a very
Well,
specific university
yeah,
thing,
no,
though. That's Like
So I
to say
kind
AV's dead and then jump into pedagogy.
That's what
Yeah,
we're there for. We're
that's
there
very
for support
specific
learning
for
outcomes.
university.
I-
That's
but
what
I
we're
feel-
talking about.
but I feel
The
like
show topic's AV overall is dead. Like we can't go to the movies
Yeah.
anymore. Screw
it off.
Sunday
No,
church. We can't even
It's
do
over.
that.
It's done.
Well, so hold on, guys. We got some people raising hands here. So
Yeah, here we go.
Frank, go ahead.
Frank, yep.
All right. So I get exactly what BC is saying. They are our brethren, our cousins, whatever you want to call it. We're partners. We're under the same umbrella. Some of us we're not. Luckily, we have our own help desk here for our group. And there's an IT group that has their help desk. They bounce tickets to us if it doesn't get to us, whatever. Ultimately, when that phone rings, whether it's our help desk or the main IT help desk, if someone says the word classroom, not like a deer broke into my classroom, as long as the word classroom is in the sentence, we're getting the phone call.
Mhm.
The AC unit fell through the ceiling, we're getting the phone call. But if the Wi-Fi is not working in the classroom or the network is not working in the classroom, we're still getting that phone call. And then it's our problem because it said classroom, even though it's a technology thing, they consider Wi-Fi, network, whatever. So when we bounce the ticket to them, they kick back, we'll get to it. We don't have a we get to it. When a classroom goes down, our job is to get that classroom up and running as soon as possible. A piece of hardware, AV hardware fails as soon as possible. IT, nah, put it in the queue. We'll get to it when we get to it. They don't have the same respect that is required to keep those classrooms up and running. They look at it as a piece of wire in the wall. And
So if
that
you're
is just, to me,
Some of that.
But
That's a great point. Some of that, I've experienced that before, and I got furious at our network engineer. It happened a long time ago. I was like, "What do you mean you don't have time?" Like, dude, I've got 2 other buildings out. I don't care about this one classroom over here. Oh, I didn't understand what you are. So there's a little bit of that too, right? You
but
don't know what.
but how
other
often
people-
do 2 buildings go down when 1 classroom goes down? I mean,
Exactly? There's
I
other right.
feel like though that we're getting to the point where we're basically insulting each other. Right? It's okay to be in a branch. If networking alone said, well, screw that, we're not part of IT with computers. I mean, we don't deal with Microsoft, right? Or if desktop support said Cisco, who? Right? Okay, look, we all use that equipment. Larry, I love that, what you said, is that we should align also very closely with instructional design, but I don't think the whole group of what we're trying to do falls with them, right?
Not 100%.
I don't think there's anything insulting about being a part of IT. I think Ryan, we agree, we need to be one of the pillars of IT,
Right.
not the little stepsister, because that's why we start feeling like we're second rate or they're second rate. It's them or us. It's like, nah.
And you got to understand, they don't, who we refer to as IT, they don't think of themselves as IT. They, I can tell you, a server admin looks down upon somebody who does endpoint, imaging
Yeah.
and stuff.
That's the
There-
point.
this-
Exactly.
all of this
Exactly.
exists
Exactly.
And so while we're like, what we have to do is stop having that conversation just with ourselves and go figure out who on your campus thinks like you do, shares your values, and go start building that team with them, and and start elevating the idea of what we do in terms of other people who share the same values as we do.
And
Okay,
we did,
Steve-
we did,
Steve
we,
has his
yeah, we
hand
stomped
up.
over Steve and somebody else. Sorry.
Greg was
Please.
in there, and I
Yes.
think Sean had his hand up at one point too.
Yeah.
So we saw you. We just stomped on you. Sorry. We apologize. I apologize. It was
You
me.
don't apologize for anything.
Okay, Greg's back. Let's hear Greg.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo what Frank was mentioning there about the sense of urgency and the difference between us and our, as somebody put, our cousins in the rest of the IT, because we fall under IT here at CU as well. And I think there's a significant difference in the sense of urgency in that they do have the global campus in mind when it comes to network. And that's probably one of my biggest fears, one of our biggest fears, frankly, in looking at an AV over IP infrastructure and looking at networks and network switches and so on, in that if we have a switch failure, again, like to the example that you don't just lose one classroom, you lose multiple classrooms, a building. And if you're set up like some campuses, you could lose the campus if you have a enterprise level type switch. So that's, I think, one of the biggest fears. And how do we, get this conversation? We're doing our best to try to engage our networking brethren to bring that sense of urgency to them to build on that. So I'll hang up here because I think Mark looks like he's itching for a comment.
I'm going to get in there. So well, I think that you're right. And to me, how many have actually had the exercise of the value stream exercise? What is it you do? What value do you bring to the campus? Because I think we've had a lot of implicit conversation in the past about your AV. What does that imply? But have you actually gone and put pen to paper and written down why what you do is important to the student experience and faculty experience for the university in that language without explaining the stuff?
Yep.
The stuff is irrelevant.
Yes.
And I think that, I don't know if enough people have actually had that perspective and done that exercise. And that's where your imperativeness of uptime comes from in that SLA agreement, right? And so if this system is down, X amount of students are affected, teaching and learning grinds to a halt. Now, I don't want to get into the whole, can you teach without AV versus, no, we're not going to do that.
Different show.
We cannot have, all the resources that are assumed are at the ready in a classroom. If that's not there, teaching and learning is not happening effectively. Now, how many people are actually disconnected from that conversation with your CIOs? And have you actually had that level of homework for your organization?
Steve, what do you got?
Steve.
Yeah, so I have talked about that and the stuff in that way in the past. And, so the first thing that people don't understand is, what is a class? What is a class? So like, let's say I got a class of 60 students. So it's not even a giant class. It's just an ordinary size class. And so what is that? So we're okay, something happens and, networking could fix it, but they can't get to it. Oh, well, just reschedule it. Sure. When was the last time you rescheduled a meeting for 60 people and everybody could make it? A class is a meeting that has 60 people in it, or 160 or 600 people, depending on your campus. It's a Herculean task that it even got scheduled at all and people could make it. It's impossible to reschedule a class. There's only one time for lecture number 3 in History 100 to happen, and that's when it is scheduled, and that is it. The second thing that I've talked about in this regard is, okay, yeah, so there's going to be, it's going to take us 15 minutes to fix that problem, and then you'll be able to continue with the class. Okay, so my class is 60 kids. Each minute represents 1 hour of lost student contact time because there's 60 people per minute. 15 minutes, 15 hours. How many hours of instruction are actually in the class, in a course? 36. And we're going to blow off 15 student contact hours just like that. That's a crazy thought. That's a crazy thought. It's just that we're not expressing the urgency of the situation in a way that the metrics scare the pants off the IT folks.
But you are using metrics. You are using data in the same way that they are. Uptime, downtime, SLA, all that language is the same.
For sure. Like I did a 5-minute thing at a management meeting several years ago, and we found out that the number of bums in seats on a typical Monday was 72,000 in our central pool classrooms. Well, that's just in one day, 72,000 students using our space. 72,000 bums in seats, not 72,000 unique people, but 72,000 bums in seats for a whole day of classes. You can calculate the same metrics at your places and throw those kind of numbers around when it's convenient to you and see if it helps.
I think that doesn't necessarily speak to the efficiency of what you do when you do it well. Parking people in seats don't mean that they had a quality experience, right? And I think that's where our take is. We want to make sure that experience is at the highest level so that we can reduce that friction.
The fact that 1,900 meetings started and happened and 72,000 participants participated in those meetings and the whole place didn't go to shit talks about how efficiently we do stuff.
Right. And you're
And
spot
it's a
on.
good it's a good demonstration too of why we should have that bigger seat.
I would argue that every single organization that's represented here today has tons of virtualized meetings. Would your organization be successful without that capability at this point in the game? Probably not, right? And so that's how imperative to the work that your groups are providing the university from that experiential and value stream. We are enabling communication and collaboration across the board. Classrooms, conference rooms, meeting spaces, live event spaces. That is what the core of the value we're actually bringing to the table.
ABC, you want to go again?
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of explain a little bit on what Steve was talking about, because I'm undergoing an exercise right now that further breaks that data metric down. We're not just looking at the number of bumps and seats, we're looking at the amount of tuition dollars in a seat in a classroom at any given moment. It was kind of a revelation when I was in a meeting with a faculty member about 7-8 years ago when I first took on this role. And he not so subtly pointed out that at any given moment when a class is going on in that specific classroom, there was like $1.5 million worth of tuition sitting in that room at that one time. And that doesn't even include the amount of dollars that the faculty member cost the university. So I mean, when you really start breaking it down into what administrators understand the most, which is money, then if you're showing the dollar value in a room at a given moment, then you're really going to start getting some attention.
I'll be honest, we haven't done that data-driven stuff yet. I'm curious in doing that, but one question that I have for those of you who have you tied learning outcomes to it? To say that students in this tech-enhanced active learning space are getting significantly more out of their tuition dollars than students in these ill-equipped conference rooms that hold classes.
Larry, I'll respond real quick, then we're going to call next one. We've put some data around that, and it's not that you're getting time to degree reduced or whatever that is. We can only say that we are not doing academic harm by providing quality experiences. There's a lot of reasons why we can't get into the grades and reporting, all of that stuff, but we've done a lot of geometry of learning research around spaces with technology, without technology, and we do have data that these are more efficient at idea sharing and learning.
Real quick, I just want to caution the AV group here on this call that we need to be careful about pronouncing ourselves as the most important entity in IT, because I feel like everybody could do that. If you don't have the systems group, your Blackboard isn't running, those online courses, the printer, you can't kill trees with the printer, right?
Point of sale is more
The
important.
networking group, but the security group isn't, keeping out all those attacks from wherever, and it takes down the whole campus. Does our stuff matter at that point? So we need to be very cautious. That's why I said in the very beginning, we're teammates.
Yes.
A football team cannot win without a quarterback, and it cannot win without an offensive line nor receivers. So it takes all of us to make that experience relevant.
All right. Teddy, you were in line.
Yep.
Or did we steal your thunder?
No, I'm here. I was chiming in about you were talking about the metrics. I did the financial one where we looked at the number of tuition dollars per classroom, because we were having issues getting funding when I started here to redo classrooms, and we had classrooms that would be offline for weeks at a time, and I couldn't get funding to buy equipment. So I did the study, and in doing so, we finally got approval to start redoing. They actually started with our med school, and we redid all of our med school classrooms. And you were talking about like metrics on these new technological classrooms, if they've been better. Our dean of our med school actually started having our academic affairs department look, and he has seen an increase in block exam results, but he hasn't, they haven't reached boards yet. And he said that since we've had fully functioning lecture halls, that he is seeing an increase in scores in block exams and more people passing blocks.
I think that's where your argument, Larry, about that pedagogical side, where it meets that technology, is really important. And like, we could provide the best system in the world, but if Mr. Old School wants to come in here with his vinyl and he's like, this is what we're going to do today, it doesn't really mean anything. It's just, they're not going to change. So we can do a lot more than I think the mass are ready to do in teaching and learning.
And now to bounce into another direction, right? Because our friend Chris Nito, put a message in the chat that was talking about, there's these almost what I said earlier about the commoditization of, these things. And some of these manufacturers and some of these representatives do have direct access to the decision makers who don't care. It's money, right? But that's part of this conversation today. That's part of the danger, is that because it's a Best Buy ready, our expertise, our ability to provide the experience that we believe is invaluable to teaching and learning is more than the Best Buy experience. And that's where we have to make sure that we're using the data metrics like Mark that came up with, and we're putting all this together. And we do have to have a kumbaya with all of the other entities under the IT umbrella, because we can't succeed without them. And there's an argument that they can't succeed with us. But kumbaya sometimes is really hard. Yes, it's hard. You kind of have to swallow your pride a little bit, or you have this peeing match of who knows better, and that's not good either.
So Jamie, Mike Peterson, you actually asked, do we feel disrespected by the managers? Myself, no, I don't. I think we're actually at the same table. There's a lot of respect between subject matter experts in there. Where I see the friction are the people that have specialized certificates and degrees, the administrators that are our systems. I'm going to say the blasphemous thing, that traditional IT no stance. Right, when I'm going through this right now, we are doing the wholesale AV over IP, exactly, conversion, right? And here's what we need to be successful. It's not just my anecdotal evidence. Here's the white paper. Here's everything we're looking at. And how many of you have faced that? Well, we don't do that on our enterprise network. Cool, thanks. However, it does not change the fact of what I need to be successful. And I'm using all of the language, everything that's there. How many of you are running your own little shadow networks to have AV over IP work in your environment?
I always bring up the example that I have more managed network switches than networking does.
Right. And so that's not how it should be.
And I don't want to hit the same thing over and over, but imagine a world where the person above that networking person and the person above the AV person understands the need for that network to work right for the purpose of students and all those sorts of things. I think getting a seat at the table, I think we have great peer relationships in a lot of different places, and cultures are different, but I think there's a feel of like, well, there's a certain level that AV just doesn't do, and it takes an IT person to do that. And that's the sort of thing I think we want to try and break down.
Well, I think you're talking about like identity. Occupational identity. People don't want to be threatened. If you go to a network administrator and say, oh, I need this, I need IGMP, I need QoS, but they're going to be like, whoa, who are you? Yeah, I'm the one with the certificate. Why are you telling me what I should and shouldn't be doing with my network? So
half the reason they're scared is because you just use things they don't know what it is.
Exactly. So you're talking about identity.
Yeah. But it's true. Everyone's in that self-preservation mode, and that self-preservation mode is kind of the death spiral of performance. So I don't know. I think AV can be a leader in kind of turning that spiral the other direction.
And I think the last 8 years have really changed that conversation too, because our last replacement cycle before this one, we didn't need all of that. We had our one little VLAN that allowed us to do room monitoring, but we've really asked for a much more sophisticated networking plan at this point.
How's that going?
I think you start getting these nice relationships, and you start shaking hands, and I think once you find out what the pain point is, we all know we can get around it, right? And that was one of the struggles we had. Is I'm very lucky. Mike posted on there. He's blessed with, he has my networking crew, my computer people. We have great relationships, and but I have to justify it in the right way. And sometimes using their language works, to Mark's point, works against me, because it creates this fear factor.
Yep.
We've all been there. How often have you, every now and then you walk into a classroom and the instructor's like, well, I have a band, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, right. I volunteer at my church. I'm sorry for the accent. That's really
Kermit
terrible.
The Frog at your school?
Are you making fun of me?
Not Kermit the Frog anymore.
Are you
That's
making fun
Patrick
of me?
Mahomes.
Was that a BC impression you were doing? I
Oh,
don't
man.
understand.
Was
what
it?
that was.
No, that
That's
was
harsh.
my, northern Missouri country boy coming out. But
Native tongue.
duct tape and baling twine. But we've all been there, and our immediate reaction a lot of times in that case is, "What? I'm the expert." And we tend to discount what they're saying until a further conversation happens. And I think that's what happens to us a lot with plugging USB peripherals into PCs. There are times where they're like, "Oh no, you can't plug extra USB in the PC. It's a security risk." Okay, come on. We've got to be able to do something here. You can't plug that device on the network. It will do. Okay, let's talk this through. And those are hard conversations to have, but I just realize when you go into it, just by using their terms, almost scares them.
I don't know if it's an us versus them at all. I think the language is just becoming more ubiquitous, and their tool sets are becoming similar. And to go back to the Kumbaya, we are going to have to play. I think IT run well and are very close partners for us to have success. They offer enablement for us to do the things we do at scale and efficiently. And I think that's where we all kind of recognize the writing on the wall. And as we spoke about the other day, is like, how do we foster more of those conversations to make sure that we're all talking about the experience, and we're all like, what is the goal that we're trying to get to here? The goal is not to keep this from happening. The goal is to actually move this forward so it does happen. And so making sure we don't get caught in the deep weeds here and say that let's not lose sight of it. What's it going to take for us to make this actually work?
And I think demonstrating to your leadership that we all have to work together to create that, right? Demonstrate to your leadership that these handshakes need to happen and that everybody here is going to do it.
Or you can just start throwing a bunch of Dante on your network and then talk about it later.
Just plug stuff in and see what happens.
Go for it. Just go AVB. Don't even stop at the Dante. Just go big.
Yeah. Just plug one AVB thing in and see what happens.
Or just go HT-based throw that on your network. It loves it.
I've seen that happen.
When?
Yeah.
I did that with a life size.
Ryan, you raised a point earlier, and I want to step back to it here. If we agree that AV is either part of or partners with IT, how do we identify those partners? How do we identify those stakeholders? How do we know who to reach out to, who to make friends with, who do we begrudgingly go, try to get them some test gear or have those conversations? So because, if we are there fundamentally serving the academic mission of the institution, we're going to be doing stuff anyway. But how do we get them on board so that we're kind of, hey, same team, man. So what do we do?
I think BC said, just plug in your NVX. Just put it on the network. You'll find out.
Just go.
Yeah.
No, AV people
they'll
do
find
that
you.
stuff by nature, right? How do you identify the instructors on your campus that that you can work with or test stuff with? How do you already find the partners that help you develop that? The same thing exists, with your thing. We work really closely with our network people, but that took time, and they actually are excited about the things that we can do. And so, and the bigger that club gets, the more attractive it looks to more people to kind of get involved with. In the same way, the first places I would look are the people who are, regardless of the technology, doing similar things to you, right? So networking, and I would go with endpoint deployment. Who are the people, who's the person who puts together the image that goes on a computer that's then plugged into our stuff and going AV over IP? And what is the experience that a person's having when they go onto that computer? And how can we talk about that, Larry, from a pedagogical standpoint? We talk about the design of a room, but that may mean that however the Windows image is set up and the software is set up is really hard for students and instructors to use. And those are the sorts of that's where I've been, able to start that collaborative thing, is kind of starting with endpoint, starting with support, starting with networking, and then working up and out from there.
And to your point, Ryan, if you having problems working with one of those departments, just take them over, right? And that's what we did. We took over the people that were supporting the computers, and we do our own images now. So for the classroom technology, besides those data ports on the wall, we take care of all the technology in that classroom. So by doing that, it enables us to make changes on those computers and adapt this AV to do whatever we need to.
Yeah, and I think like in
Just
our
take it
world,
over.
it was a little in a reorg, right? We combined a group, we have basically the same group does endpoint procurement and
Yep.
AV procurement and that design for staff and all lab machines and all that. And those
That's
people
what we
work
do.
together on that.
Yep.
And so it builds a lot. So yeah, not only the ones in classrooms, but a laptop that a staff person gets. And what is their
Oh,
Zoom
no, that's
experience
separate.
like on there?
We
Yeah,
don't
no,
want any
I want
part of
that,
that.
yeah.
We don't want
But I'm
that.
just saying, how many Zoom hours are being logged by staff and faculty laptops, and what settings need to be there, and what are the things you can do to make that experience better for them?
No,
and
we
are
not the
we
standard
willing
image,
to
Ryan.
take?
It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. But are
So-
we willing to take ownership and responsibility for things like that? Is kind of the question.
Well, and I also want to think, not all of us here just have a full AV staff out there doing all this work, right?
Yeah.
They're the intermediaries between an integrator and then the boots on the ground after it breaks. How do they get in this conversation? Or if you're in that position and you have forced your way into this conversation to say, maybe we can't do all of our own integrations, but we want to be at that table when they're brought in here, because what is some of these the integrators come in, they put in their own switch, they put in their own things, but that means we have to deploy a boots on the ground instead of being able to do the stereotypical all remote troubleshoot that. But
Yeah, I can't
so
see
how
it in my
do-
console, so I have nothing better to do.
yeah, how do those folks, because not everybody on this has the benefit of having a full staff of people or a designer or installation. How do they make that conversation happen? Because that's sometimes where the biggest headbutting is, because they're really not relevant at that point. They're just technicians who show up with a hammer one day.
But
Is it hammers?
No, I think we've talked about it a lot, right? We think that may be one of the things where we could actually save money as an organization and doing some of that physical stuff and that installation work. But I want to go to one point, like how many people are doing deployments AV over IP full on, like enterprise? I know, Mike, you said you were, where everything's there, you can get to everything. Then how many people are actually doing AV over IP, but it's like ShadowNet, right? It's not really.
We love ShadowNet.
Right. And so,
well, or Mark, I mean, kind of the third option here is manage switches with a trunk line, and then I'm handling all that behind my switch, but it's not Shadow because they have campus IPs. It's just I'm blocking that traffic.
Right. But is that in itself like furthering the divide? Like, I'm just going to do it all myself. I'm not going to engage in a conversation. I'm just going to take it over here. I'll push the easy button. It's done. Here's some fake VLANs. I'll 192 the hell out of this all day long. But that's not the right way to do that.
I think it depends. You're right. It's not the right way to do that. So that cycle happened on our campus. Networking said, just throw it on the network. It'll be fine. Obviously it didn't work. We had to take it off the network. We had to build.
You believe the brochure. Just put it on a network.
Just drop it on the network. You'll get it anywhere,
Yeah.
anytime, anything. Just do it.
Yeah,
It's
we
only
did
100
together, and then you pick the bits that you want. That's how.
And then we took it all back off the network. And now we have all these little bitty networks everywhere. And there's going to be a point, and it's going to happen where, going back to the whole point of this conversation, is we need to be more like IT. We have to be more efficient. And they're going to be on our ass about, we got to figure out how to get to those things remotely. I was like, aha, yes, we do. Now, create us some VLANs and get us some trunk ports, and we'll have that conversation when it becomes their problem, because they're going to have to answer to higher ups at the university of, why is your AV staff so inefficient? Why they're running around everywhere with laptops? Aha, right? So then
Because
you
you
have that.
said no.
Yeah, exactly. And then we'll have that conversation. So that problem, I feel, would fix itself, hopefully.
Your plan is to just wait that one out.
Wait it out.
Yeah.
John,
And hope it doesn't come back on you.
John from ASU.
No,
your hand went up with much vengeance and fury. What's going on?
Oh,
I didn't think we were allowing ASU on this podcast. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you
I
might
can't
not.
hear.
Man, Mike, wow. Gosh.
We have some Arizona bad blood here, I guess.
Wow. Throwing shade from the Midwest. Holy moly. All right, Sean.
I mean, we're under the IG. I'm under the IG umbrella. We all have to work together as a team. It sounds like from these discussions, though, we need a roadmap for success, right? Like AV and IT. It's not. There are so many. I can tell you, and we have a really large network. I'm just saying it's difficult to manage at best, right? I mean, with Wi-Fi and stuff, and being AV, you have no idea sometimes what is going on with the network engineering roles across your campuses, right? There are so
Exactly.
many initiatives out there that potentially affect AV over IP. So we have, and we do our best, we have, great AV, we've worked with the network engineers. We have great audiovisual VLANs. We have a VRF where we can kind of keep within those VLANs, we kind of keep it somewhat separated. You have to VPN in, and part of that is for security scans, which are going to come for every one of you, right, at some point. So it doesn't matter if you think you have things VLAN. If a device gets old, or a device doesn't have a security up to date on its web pages, or devices that would work for 10 years if nobody touched them, will have a web page that goes out for on it and flag a security warning on it. So structuring those environments for success is something you really have to work with the AV team and the security teams for.
So what you're saying is, though, if you just segment every network, you never have to update firmwares and everything's fine. Oh, my bad. My bad.
You
my
missed
bad.
that.
You always want to have to do that, but there's potential, and I realize, some of us are private institutions and some of us are public, and there's different levels of refresh that happens on all these college campuses, and about how far you can stretch that technology that will work perfectly, even after its end of life, or there's end of life for the product and the end of life support, and then there's when is that thing going to die, because it's been running for 10 or 12 years and nobody's touched it, right? So I think there's just opportunities, and maybe this is a larger forum discussion we can have with HETMA, and then also I'm looking, we have forums in HETMA for tech and things like that. I think I'm just looking, it'd be very helpful to have. I know there's individual manufacturer communities in there that some of you may be a part of. What configurations, to find out what configurations are working for people on these devices, because there's a lot of opportunities for parameters in these devices that can affect or how they run on the network, and ultimately everybody wants to be successful, and we're just looking for ways to ensure that across this higher ed group.
It's funny you say that, because even in our offline meetings and things, and maybe an upcoming show. So speaking of upcoming shows, right? We share this thing. But we talk a lot about what is successful, what network settings were successful in your deployments, so that conversation, I think, is happening, and we amongst ourselves as AV Super Friends are having similar things. What's your roadmap? How do you do this? And they're very detailed, but maybe at the broadest topic, it is a great topic for another day.
That's right. I would say, well, Sean, that sounded very, very much mature IT, by the way. All that language you gave us.
Sorry, I can't. I have to live with every day. And our network team is third party, so they're not even necessarily university.
Oh, then you and I need to talk, because
wow,
I'm about my wits end with that.
We're taking we're evolving that relationship, but it has been that way for at least over the last decade. And this is our second service provider, and everybody has service level agreements, and they are a good partner for the most part. I have everybody you work with is frustrating at some point, right? So but AV and IT, they have to work well together. There's no, everything that we're doing is online. At some point, it's like, all we're doing is showing cloud-based solutions with AV at some point. It doesn't, that's what we're doing. So if someone can't log in, or someone can't get to Dropbox, or someone can't get to Canvas, what are we, or Zoom at this point, it's very difficult. Very few people walking around with a keychain full of USB keys at any point now, for as far as faculty goes. So
Sean, I'm going to have to step on you there. We are at time. I do want to thank everyone for the fantastic conversation today. Most importantly, I think we can congratulate ourselves. We did it. We solved this problem of AV and IT, and it was less than an hour. It was fantastic. So I do want to thank everyone for jumping in with questions and with commentary. And I want to thank Ryan for agreeing to sit in with the AV Super Friends as much as he did.
Long time
It's-
listener, first time caller. I appreciate it. It's a pleasure.
Hey, you make the mistake of writing us an email, you're going to end up on a show having to like
There you go.
put up or shut up. So I appreciate your perspective you bring to it. And I think you're right. We need to identify those stakeholders. We need to make partners and a partnership with the with IT.
For the next AVSF live show,
I'm stepping on my outro. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Live for more information and to see the schedule of upcoming live shows. That's avsf.live.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.
The opinions expressed by the AV Super Friends are solely those of the individuals and do not represent their respective institutions, organizations, companies, or clients.